Hello there, I am James Milan, welcome, and this is the DEI update. DEI, as I bet you know, is diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I am going to be speaking, as I always do, with Jillian Harvey, the Director of DEI here in the town. And also, Jill has brought a couple of new faces to be introduced to the Arlington community, important faces and names. I'll let you do the honors, Jill.
Thanks. Hi, James. Yep, I brought my team with me today. So I want to introduce our community to Teresa Marzilli and Tim Ross, the two amazing newest employees in the DEI division. We've had Teresa since June and Tim since September. So I've talked about them before in some of the updates because I was really excited about their new roles. But I just wanted the community to be able to connect faces to names and let them introduce themselves and share just, a quick blurb about what they're going to be doing. Just because moving forward, they're actually going to be we're going to be sharing the DEI updates. So you'll be hearing from Tim in March and Teresa in April. But I think I'll first pass it over to Teresa to introduce yourself, just about your role and what's going on, and then Tim.
Sure. Thank you, Jillian. Thanks, James, for having us. My name is Teresa. I'm the Community Outreach and Engagement Coordinator here in the DEI division. As Jill said, I've been with the town since June. My roles are multifaceted. I was brought on to the team to help the town prioritize inclusive and equitable engagement strategies. Going out into the community, building better connections with community-based organizations and community members, putting on big community celebrations like the Lunar New Year one that we just had, and we're always open to community feedback and input on what celebrations they want to see happen in Arlington. And I've been helping to lead the language access project that we've got going on right now. So yeah, it's been a wonderful journey so far. I'm really happy to be here. Excited for the future.
Thank you very much. And how about you, Tim?
Hi, everyone. Tim, the ADA coordinator here in DEI. I mainly provide administrative support to the Disability Commission. I also work with them and other town departments and commissions to advocate for accessibility and whatever projects currently working on.
Well, I'll just go jump in and say I can tell that Jill, just from her tone, is, I know how happy she is to have a full department and how long she and I have been talking in these updates about that happening. And so congratulations to all three of you who compose one of the most important divisions in our town at this point. And I want to welcome you on behalf of ACMi and the community and to wish you the best and to say, Teresa, that Lunar New Year celebration, let's hope that things just keep rocking like that did, because that was a wonderful event, really well attended and clearly well organized. So kudos to you. And again, that's a nice bar you set for yourself there. No pressure.
No pressure. Thank you.
Okay, well, Jill, shall we let these guys go?
Yeah.
All right. I know, because you guys have just one or two things to do as well. So we will say goodbye, but with a reminder that, as Jill already mentioned, Tim will be joining us for the DEI update next month, and then followed by Teresa. And I imagine you guys will be starting to alternate in that way from now on. So again, welcome aboard.
Thanks, James.
All right. See ya. Get to work. Okay, and here we are back in familiar territory. But again, congratulations to you, Jill. It's been quite a long time that you've been waiting for all this to come into place. So yay. Yeah. All right, let's talk about our actual DEI business, so to speak. We do want to talk. I do want to get your take on both the Martin Luther King celebration that happened in January, and then the Lunar New Year celebration happening earlier this month in February. But to begin with, let's talk about the release of the equity audit, and then also the racial equity workshops that recently concluded, because these things are the things that I know are extremely significant, but also we've been talking about for a long time because they've been going on for quite a while. So please just let us know where things stand and what next steps there are to be taken.
Yeah, so a lot has wrapped up since we last spoke. The racial equity and DEI workshops that all employees were participating in with Strategy Matters have concluded. That doesn't mean the work is done, but at our last session 2 weeks ago, we focused on recapping, the skills that we've learned, and really focusing on the goals that we've agreed to work towards as a workforce. So one of the workshop sessions actually involved consensus building. And so, 4 days in a row, groups were able to actually come to agreement around some goals. And with that, our consultants were able to put together 5 main goals that really speak to the work that we were doing and something that all of us felt we could agree to, that can help us contribute to, getting where we want to and making Arlington more equitable. So I did just want to share those goals with everyone. So, our goals are to create an inclusive town culture, both inside and outside of town hall, to examine and improve our organizational structures and processes to align and advance DEI in our town, to explore, test, and reassess ways to increase DEI in all of our town services, and to provide excellent and equitable town services. And lastly, to learn with each other and from each other in service to the Arlington community and just continuously try to improve. So I know those workshops were certainly difficult at times, and it was also really rewarding. And I truly am really proud of the work and commitment that our employees made to participate, even when it was hard and you probably didn't want to. I know there were a few times when I was like, oh gosh, what are we doing? But I am really proud. No other municipality is really taking this approach. And so everyone should be, I think, excited and proud of the work that has been done. But those workshops were really the foundational step in our journey. I know we've done some really great work over the last couple of years, but the stage we're moving into with the audit wrapping up, those workshops really help to frame the work for our employees so they know what to expect coming up. So with that, the community equity audit also done. It's been a long time. But our work with Opportunity Consulting started in late spring of 2022. And our goal with them was really to have them assess the town's barriers to access, our ability to connect or not connect, and engage and respond to the needs of our most underrepresented residents and community members. And so early on, we picked 3 focus areas for the project that ultimately are interconnected and will help us see the wider picture of our community. And so those areas are civic participation, town workforce, and housing. And so the approach that the consultants take is more of a root cause analysis. We've done some workshopping with them to figure out how these 3 areas really do impact all facets of life for our community members. So over the summer, there was that data collection stage I know I talked about, and then we had a community stakeholder group established, focus groups were taking place, tons of one-on-one interviews were happening with our consultants, and then a community survey as well. And so I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I'm really excited about the findings and recommendations that did come out of that audit. For me, I'd say I'm not surprised. I'm just glad that now we have, some of the work that I've known we need to do, we now have the actual data and information to really back it up. And I think when folks read it, they're going to maybe be surprised or feel defensive or, say that's not reflective of our how we do our work or whatnot. But I really ask the folks, if they are reading it, to just, let it sit in. Don't go into it with an idea already of what you don't believe, but just be open to it. And with that, I really do want everyone to come. We're having a public presentation for this project because it is really important. I mean, a lot of energy and thoughtfulness has gone into it. And especially, I want to thank our community stakeholder group as well, because these are leaders within our community who don't work for the town, who are just, they dedicated a lot of time and energy to making sure that folks from their parts of the community were involved and heard and represented. And so we are having a community public presentation on Monday, February 13th. It's going to be hybrid. So it'll start at 6:30. It's going to be both in the community center in the main hall at 27 Maple Street, and also on Zoom. So folks can tune in, they can come in person. It'll be recorded. If you don't have time, you can watch it later. But our consultants are going to be walking through the whole process of the audit, really taking the time to explain the findings and the recommendations that go with them. And throughout this time, I also, with these two large projects, I had our consultants in communication with each other so that the goals and the work we were doing with employees is also tied to what's coming out of this audit. So that we have actual realistic, action steps that we can start to look towards to create. And so having folks just attend that, to me, is the opportunity to get your questions answered, find out more, and hear from the folks who did this work with us. I definitely think from there, there'll probably be more questions, but I do encourage everyone to attend if they can. And like I said, we're going to take it, start to build out our next action steps. And I'm really excited about this next stage. So yeah, that's the big stuff.
Yeah, really. And it really, really is. As you said, a lot of people have put a lot of time and energy, beginning, of course, with you. But really, people throughout the town, from the employees who, signed on to this, as you said, often difficult conversations that were had and interactions, et cetera, coming to consensus around the goals that you just mentioned. That is a triumph in and of itself. But of course, so much work still to be done to put all of this into practice to make it real. Beginning, of course, and I'll just repeat what you said, February 13th coming up pretty quickly here for the public forum around the equity audit results. Don't miss it. And if you do, ACMi will be there and you'll be able to get to see the recorded version as well. But this is the real work that you have been at, I know, Jill, since you started this job here. And this is really what we need as a community to move forward in the ways that we want. So let us hope that, that people who are tuning in here will be there on Monday night, and that things just proceed from there. It's not going to go smoothly, right? Nobody expects that, but that it goes. It just needs to go. All right. Well, thank you for that. That was a lot, but that doesn't mean that that's all that you've got going. We use these updates always to look forward, as well as to kind of get a recap of things that have happened. So let's start by looking forward. Upcoming DEI related events that people should be aware of?
Kind of, yeah. So while we're not putting on anything specifically hosted by the town for Black History Month, we have put together kind of like a guide, I don't know the word really, that'll be released just for folks to check out things that are happening locally, highlighting some Black-owned businesses, especially in town, in different ways that folks can educate themselves and participate in any Black History Month events going on. So that'll be shared probably today, honestly. I think we just finished it. But that will go out, and the Black History Month banners are back up in town. So those have been going up for the last 3 years now, which is great. And that's been a project between the Arlington Human Rights Commission and the Arts and Culture Commission as well. And so this year's theme was creating Black business through history. So we have 2 lovely youth winners. So those new banners will be going up in the Heights on those light poles, not light poles, just the banner poles. And we're going to be having a artist meet and greet and kind of artist showcase. It's going to be on March 4th. It's going to be Saturday afternoon at the community center as well, in that main hall, from 1 to 3. And so again, that invite will be going out to the community to just come hear from our young artists, see what other vendors are doing, and really just a way to support our Black community members. So I'm excited for all of that. It's coming together. And yeah, I think that's it. The real focus this month is just kind of taking in these big projects and focusing on the next steps and really laying out that plan for what the rest of the year is going to look like in terms of how we're advancing our goals.
Yeah, and we reported on those banners and those young artists, and you're not kidding about young, impressive young artists in our last week's newscast, and we hope to introduce them to the public ourselves if we can get hold of them. But really looking forward to that as well. You said March 4th. Great.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, let's just talk then about. Just want to get your thoughts on the MLK celebration. I know that goes back almost a whole month now. And then also the Lunar New Year, which I did mention earlier when we were talking to Teresa. And I know you were not able to be at in person, but it really was a lovely event to experience from my perspective. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So the MLK event was the 35th time it happened this year in town, which to me is just amazing. I mean, the event's been happening longer than I've been alive, but it was really
wish I could say that.
It was really great to have it back at Town Hall. For me especially, it was actually one of the first things I attended when I first started with the town. I didn't know what I was walking into. I showed up by myself and was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then with COVID and the last couple of years, so it was really great to have that program back in person. And again, for folks who didn't attend in person, it was aired so they could also participate. But just the appreciation that folks shared afterwards, and just that it's one of their favorite events, and to just see it happen, and again have another opportunity to bring community together and hear a really good message. The keynote speaker, Tanisha Sullivan, who is the NAACP president for the Boston branch, really focused her speech on grace and holding grace for folks. And I honestly reflect on that very often. I feel like it's only been a month, but it's definitely a good message. And the youth that performed, the orchestra, the choir, it was amazing. So I was really glad that we were able to do it live. Lunar New Year, heard it was a blast. I did watch from home. I streamed it. It was great. I put it on my TV. I am so impressed and proud of the work that Teresa did, and Tim stepping in to take on a bunch of roles as well, to make this happen. You know, this sprouted from knowing that the Council on Aging did a program for their folks, and just an idea to expand it to the community. And wow, it just was amazing. So I'm really looking forward to everything that these two great employees will come up with over the next couple of months.
Yeah, it truly was a wonderful event with a great public response. And two strong impressions I will take away. One is of Teresa being everywhere throughout the event, just making sure that things were coming off really, really well. And Tim working hard behind the scenes, up on the stage with sound, etc. So as you said, kudos to the rest of your department and to you as well, because these events, we hope, will continue to be a staple for the community, and perhaps we will add more, depending on Teresa's ambitions and energy, and public kind of clamor for future events of this sort. But it's so great when the community is invited to come together to celebrate these different important occasions. So really well done. Much to be kind of savored in this particular update, as well as much to be chewed upon in terms of the results of those long-term projects around equity that we've been talking about. Have we missed anything, Jill? We've been talking about a lot of stuff.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, you'll be getting the rest of the updates next month for what's coming down the pipeline, but for now, I think we covered it.
All right, sounds great. Well, we will let you get back to work and recovery yourself, and we wish you the best with both. I have been speaking with Jillian Harvey. She is the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Division here in town for this DEI update. I am James Milan. We appreciate Jill's time. We appreciate yours. Thanks so much for being here, and we will see you next time.